For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise. And you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. I guess I have to start out by saying Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. And as we know these days, a mom can be a woman, a man. So I just have to say, I guess I should say Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Right? Is that just the easiest way to do it without offending anybody, hey? Yeah. Can you sense the sarcasm in my voice already? We're off to a great start. But we are going to be celebrating moms on the show today because Vicki Lawrence, you remember she played Mama on Mama's Family and the Carol Burnett Show. Vicki Lawrence is on the hit Fox show called The Cool Kids, and we had a chat a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the sitcom, and you know, there aren't very many TV legends still on TV working week after week, and Vicki is certainly one of them. So it's been a few years since Vicki has been on the radio with me. Notably, she was on when Mama's Family was launched on DVD. That was several years ago now, and she did go into her mama voice. We'll see if we can get her to do that on the show today. No, I'm kidding. She doesn't, and I do have to advise you just at the beginning is that we were having some audio trouble, so it does sound a little bit muffled when we're chatting with Vicki, so just keep that in mind when that segment comes in about halfway through the show. I got a story about my mom that I want to tell you because, you know, when you're not like the cool kids, but when you're one of the crafty kids, one of the creative kids in the family, you find some interesting ways to recognize your parents. And I did that a few years ago for Mother's Day. I'll tell you that story coming up right after this.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
JB here on The Scribble. Feel free to give me a shout. I would love to hear stories about your mom. You know, when I was in high school, the whole insult was, your mom, right? Did it ever offend you? Did that ever hurt you? I don't know. Tell me your thoughts. Live at jbonair.com is the email address, live at jbonair.com. So before the break, I mentioned that I had a real good Mother's Day one year when I wasn't in town and my mom was not expecting to see me, but I showed up at my parents' house with, of all things, paper flowers. Right, wasn't it Marie Osmond, new host of The Talk? Wasn't it, she had paper roses or something, wasn't it? So I had drawn flowers on a piece of paper, and I cut out the paper, very badly drawn. Like, the whole thing was supposed to be a joke, right? Really badly drawn flowers on a piece of paper, and showed up at my parents' place, and I gave her Speak Free Media t-shirt, which, you know, the name of my company. I gave her a Speak Free Media t-shirt. Actually, here we are right now. My mom, believe it or not, is actually calling me as I speak. We're going to put Mom right on the phone. We're talking about Mother's Day and the time that I gave you those paper flowers and a handshake.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
And that made the national news.
Did it?
It did. Let me finish the story. So I showed up there, we did this picture, and I sent it to CBC News Network, and wouldn't you know it, about 20 minutes later, there's the picture of my mom and me on the national news for Mother's Day. So that was the year, the paper flowers and the hearty handshake that I gave you. So happy Mother's Day, since we're talking about that right now as you call me.
And you better not do it again this year.
We'll see. All right, so we're gonna take another break, and then again, Vicki Lawrence from the hit Fox show The Cool Kids will be joining us right after this.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
She's one of the cool kids. I'm going to say that she's the youngest of the cool kids. Is that the better way to say it, Vicki Lawrence, from the hit show The Cool Kids on Fox?
Well, actually, I'm not. I'm one of the oldest cool kids.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not.
Well, it certainly doesn't show. Anyway, I should say hi, Mama.
Well, yes. Mama's in a suitcase, actually. She doesn't go on the road. So she's in a suitcase.
Well, let's.
I won't be very happy when she gets out.
No, got to iron her and everything. You guys have had great success with this show, and that's really tough these days, right? And so the first season, you've really captured an audience. I mean, maybe it's a stupid question, but did you think that would happen?
I think we were hopeful. I mean, it's just an awesome cast. I feel like I really kind of feel like I've landed on an awesome relay team, and I feel like any one of us could get the baton to the finish line on any given week, and you don't want to be the one that drops the baton, so we're all on our toes. It's such a great group of guys, and I love them all, so we're thankful that people have been enjoying the show.
And, we had Leslie on.
It's Fox on a Friday night, so I'm hoping you help me get the word out there, Jeremy.
That's what we're going to do. And, we had Leslie on at the start of the season, and I don't know where he gets that energy from. So, I need to ask you then, when you're getting...
Did you have on?
We had Leslie on.
Oh, well, good. I have no idea. I have no idea, but he is something.
But let me ask you then what it's like to get back into TV like this, like as a starring role in a sitcom. Again, maybe it's a weird question. Is it like riding a bike that once you've done it, or did it take some getting used to again?
Well, the schedule took some getting used to, that's for sure. Doing the weekly schedule. I remember emailing Carol at the beginning going, oh, my God, how do you do it all? Because she's still doing it a lot, Mm-hmm. She's a very busy gal. And I said, I swear I feel like I need Geritol. We were laughing about it. She said, whatever happened to Geritol? I said, I guess now it's Red Bull and vodka. She said, back in my day, it was aspirin and Coke. We were laughing about where do you get all the energy to do it all? But I would say the schedule has been the hardest to get used to. Other than that, the comedy has been just been a joy because these guys are all so good. And it's, as Carol would say, jump in the sandbox and play, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so let's talk about the guys. If you could give me one word to describe each of them. And so let's start with Leslie then, since we've already mentioned him.
Oh, yeah, he's just a bundle of energy, I think.
Okay, Martin?
Martin is, oh my gosh, he's got the best anecdotes, and he is the sweetest. He's just the sweetest, dearest man. I love him.
Okay, David?
These are not one-word answers, are they? David makes me laugh. David, of all the guys, he reminds me a lot of Harvey. He's very serious about his comedy, and consequently, he is hysterical. He makes me laugh out loud.
How much has...
Of all the guys, he really makes me laugh out loud. He reminds me a lot of Harvey.
And that's the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
How has TV production changed, though, over the years? From, Carol Burnett, from Mama's Family. Like, how is it different?
Well, the Burnett Show, we did that like a live show. So we literally did 2 shows on a Friday, one which was called The Dress Rehearsal, because that's how Carol grew up, was live TV in New York. And the other one was called The Air Show, but we actually just taped 2 shows in front of 2 different audiences. It never took us more than, I would say, an hour and a half to do an hour show, and that was usually if there was a major set change that took, long. Mm-hmm. But we went like a bat out of hell because Carol was all about keeping that audience happy. And, we've talked some about her coming to do the Cool Kids, and I said, we got to get the schedule a little more straightened out before I invite Carol over, or she'll never speak to me again. Because she said to me at one point, she said, the last sitcom I did, Dick, she said it was Hot in Cleveland with Betty White. Mm-hmm. And she said it took 5 hours for them to shoot that half-hour show. So I was I was regaling the guys with this story, and they said, "Dear God, if we shot one of these shows in 5 hours, we'd throw a party." So it's changed a lot. I don't know. Carol has this theory that because people are watching it and can watch it anytime they want, and it's going down in a history book, that they're actually, as much as they're watching for the comedy, they're watching to see if the pictures are straight on the wall in the background. And she said they will stop a take because a picture is crooked.
And she's going to be billing you for overtime, right? I mean...
I don't... Well, she just won't speak to me. She just won't be happy. She will not be happy if you don't just do that comedy and make that audience happy and then get out.
The big trend, the big thing these days is, a throwback Thursday and talking about memories and everything. And you mentioned Betty and Carol, and I think back to, that's the time that I met all of you guys, was at Betty's 90th birthday when NBC had the big TV special. And that was a night where, you don't have many TV legends in one room that often, do you?
No. Well, she's such a special lady. She's got a lot of friends. A lot of friends.
Do you see?
And I remember talking to Betty, over the years about really the early days. She was the early days of television when it first started up. So she's got great old stories.
Yeah, I mean, so you talk about Carol and her training with live TV and how it was. I mean, Betty sort of dates back a little bit before that, too.
Even further than that, yeah, really back to the beginning of television.
And she's still got energy, more so than Leslie, right?
Well, I don't know about that. The 2 of them could probably have I don't know. And Leslie, these stories, because he's had quite the life,
Yeah.
Leslie.
Oh, absolutely.
And, well, I mean, we all have. Leslie says we've all been around the block so many times we're dizzy, and it's true. There is almost no time period or no person that you can mention that one of us isn't going to have a story.
Yeah.
And sometimes if we're really bored, it'll just start, and somebody will say, "Okay, John Wayne." Well, I've got a John Wayne story. And it's hysterical. It's just wonderful listening to everybody's. And none of us have ever worked together before, so these are all brand new stories. And it's just, somebody should be taking notes. Okay, well, I'm going to put you on the spot then. Let me go, Bob Barker. Right. Bob Barker. My husband did his makeup on the game show. Dear God, The Price is Right.
Price is Right. Mm-hmm.
My husband was the head of CBS makeup back in the day, and he did Bob's makeup. And I remember when Al was in the hospital, he got a blood clot, and he was in the hospital, and Bob Barker sent him an 8x10 photograph of himself, all dressed up like a rhinestone cowboy and a set of darts, and said, "Put this on the wall. It's your dartboard." Bob Barker, lovely guy. When Al and I were first together, our New Year's Eve used to be go to bed at 7, say Happy New Year, go to bed at 7, and then we'd get up about 1 or 2, and we would trek out to the Rose Bowl parade because Al did the makeup for a number of years. And back in the day, I think it was Bob Barker and June Lockhart, that were emceeing the parade. So we would drive out there. Al would do the makeup. It was a beautiful CBS catered breakfast back there, and we'd, sit right in the bleacher there where the announcers were, and got to see the parade for a number of years that way. It was very cool.
It's good to know people, hey?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the cool kids and what's coming up on the show. You guys have had some really interesting storylines. Sid having relationship issues, Zodiac Killer, Margaret, big birthday. What's coming up in the next few weeks?
Oh, what's coming up? Let's see. I'm trying to think. It's hard for me to remember.
Yeah.
I know we have a big Vegas trip coming up. That was pretty crazy, us going to Vegas.
Uh-oh.
And I'm trying to think what's on a French farce. It was just very well written. I think Charlie may have written this one. And Leslie's got a stunt double. I do remember that. I don't remember the story. Oh, I know. I want to date a guy that went to Harvard. So I convinced him that I went to Yale, which of course, Margaret. I mean, please. And it was. Oh gosh, help me, Jeremy. From oh God, who was the police cop on? Oh Lordy. Okay, now I'm really losing it. What is his name? He's his son is the big movie star right now. Oh cripes, this is not good. You see, this is what happens when you get old.
Okay.
Memory.
Hey, let's talk about their Vegas trip though, because to me that sounds like that's total.
Oh, Jack A is in the Vegas trip. Jack A was at the Vegas trip, and Rick Fox and David's son is getting married, so that's why we go to Vegas.
That sounds like...
Of course, it turns into a nightmare.
I was going to say, it sounds like it turns into a National Lampoon's kind of a thing.
Kind of.
Is that a good...
Kind of. It's pretty fun. I love that we're just embracing old people being every bit as silly and fun and crazy as young people. We might have a little more arthritis, and we might have an artificial knee or an artificial hip, but we're still out to have a good time.
Absolutely. And you know what, though? That's the thing with Netflix and all these different streaming services. It's so cool that, a cast of that generation is actually being so well received by the masses. I think that's really incredible.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool that the young people are actually enjoying us too. Well, they made us very hip. We know all of the. We're good at all the technology stuff, and it's funny. They'll write stuff for us, and sometimes we'll have to ask them to please explain what that means. What does that mean in tech speak?
Well, I knew you guys were onto good things when I saw the promo shots at the beginning, and there's Margaret giving the finger. I mean, I thought, okay, here we go.
Oh, flipping off all of the world. Yes. God, Margaret.
But, I mean, it's something we all want to do every now and then, right?
Yes, we do.
All right. Let's shift gears very quickly in our final remaining moments. Mama, a two-woman show. How's Mama doing?
Well, as I said, she's in the suitcase.
She's in the suitcase, yeah.
Waiting to roll. And she's busy getting her hair done right now, but all of her wardrobe is in the suitcase. I often wonder what in the world TSA thinks when they open my suitcase. What do they think about the TheraBands and the tennis balls, for me,
right,
and the polyester dress and the gray wig and the orthopedic shoes next to the pair of high heels, and I often wonder what they think is going on.
And this is probably one of the longest running, sort of TV characters. It just still has such longevity.
Yeah, I guess maybe so. And it's been so much fun to just really take her out of the closet and put her on stage in front of everybody and get her out there again. And I honestly can't think of anybody else that ever has done this. But I know that, people love her. They think of her as a real person. I mean, people will ask me all the time on the street. They'll say, "Hi, where is Mama?" Like I should, pop into a phone booth and come out as Mama.
Yeah.
So she's very real to people. So I knew that she had to be a big part of the show, and she's so much fun to do, and she gets all the good jokes. So basically, I open for Mama.
Yeah, wow.
And it has been so much fun to just bring her out and push her into the new century and let her comment on all the craziness that's going on in the world.
This is where you should...
There's lots of material.
Absolutely. This is where you should mess with people that go, she's in rehab. She's just not... All right.
All right.
All right. Well, we're going to be watching The Cool Kids. It's Fridays on Fox, right?
It is. Friday night, 8:30, 7:30 Central, and we're winding down Season 1. Got our fingers crossed for Season 2.
Here's hoping, and I'm sure we'll talk to the cast again for Season 2. Well, Vicki Lawrence, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. So, like I mentioned, that Vicki Lawrence segment was pre-taped a couple of weeks ago, and so when that was playing for you, my mom called me back again because I totally forgot about this. A few weeks ago, maybe about a month or so ago, when we were celebrating our 13th anniversary on the radio, we had Allison Janney from the CBS show Mom on. Do you remember that? And when she surprised me, and she said, "Oh, hi, it's Mom." And I said, "Well, I know that it's not my mom because my mom doesn't listen to me on the radio." So Allison ran with that and was jokingly, pissed off. And actually, it's funny because after we taped the segment, she actually said the same thing. She's like, "I can't believe your mom doesn't, listen to you on the radio." In fairness, I'm not on the radio in my hometown, and my parents aren't big tech people, so that's my defense for them. Anyway, so we had surprised my mom. So Allison called and surprised me, and then she said we should call your mom. And so we called my mom. My mom had no idea I was calling. And then Allison was asking, I'm just surprised. Why don't you listen to Jeremy on the radio? If you missed it, you can go back a few weeks here on the Scribble, or you can go to speakfreecelebwatch.com, and you can hear the interview there. And so my mom now, when she called us doing the podcast, or during us doing the podcast, she wanted to make sure, are you really on the radio? And I said, that was really incredible timing, actually, that I'm talking about Mother's Day, and here you go. So, and the reason that she was calling is I'm going out of town, actually, for one day. I've got a work trip, and then I'm coming in to visit for the weekend. So she wanted to get the timing of that. But she didn't believe me that we were actually taping a show again. And I said, yes, of course. So that's now 2 cameos that my mom has had on our radio and podcast properties in the past month. So look at that. She's upstaging me on my own shows. Again, I do want to hear your Mother's Day stories. Are you a prankster? Are you a jokester? Do you have a really funny relationship with your mom? I definitely want to hear the stories. You can email me live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. And what are we doing? We're going to take a break, and then I'm going to tell you what's coming up in the weeks ahead here on The Scribble.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. One thing that I was just reminded to ask you was, where are you tuning in to the podcast? Where are you listening to The Scribble? Is it on SoundCloud or iTunes? Those are the 2 platforms that we generally give a shout-out to every week, but apparently we've expanded, and there's Spotify and some other is it channels or what do we call it? See, I'm a radio guy. I'm an old school radio guy. So the whole podcast download thing. I don't have iTunes. So I just go by what they tell me. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify. Is it Blueberry or Blueberry? Something like that. So tell me, email me live@jbonair.com. I still do the email is what I do. Live@jbonair.com, and just let us know where you found us, how you've tuned in. And again, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, everybody, to all of the moms, male and female out there. Happy Mother's Day. Now, we have had a really interesting schedule on the podcast this spring. I have mentioned it a few times, I believe, already, that we have taped some travel programming in Phoenix, right? And so we taped it well over a month ago, probably about a month and a half ago. And we've had an anniversary show. We've had Dreams Take Flight in Orlando, Florida. We've just had a bunch of other more timely kinds of shows. And generally, it's actually our spring break programming. That was our spring break destination. Unfortunately, we're probably not airing it until maybe June at this point. So you're going to hear about Phoenix while I was there. And then we've got about a week or two of shows where we're chatting with celebrities who are or were from Phoenix or lived in the Phoenix area. And so that's coming up. That's our preview to the Phoenix show, which was already taped, okay? So just go with it here. And then we also have Marion Ross. You remember Happy Days? This would have been great to have her on our Mother's Day show, but we just didn't have time to get that segment. It's about a 20-minute call with Marion Ross, and we just didn't have time today. But certainly that would have been great for Mother's Day. And Marion reflects on her TV career, her film career, her acting career, and also the time on Happy Days. You know, Henry Winkler is a bigger star now, I think, than maybe not that he was back in the day, but certainly his career has taken off again. And Marion chimes in. It's actually quite cute to hear her talk about her former TV kid, right? I mean, that's basically she was everybody's mom on Happy Days. So we've got Marion Ross coming up in the next few weeks as well. So a whole bunch of this pre-taped stuff that we just haven't got around to. Also, the music group Lone Star, country group, has been around for 20-something years, and we have one of the original bandmates again that we taped a few weeks ago, and so we're going to play that interview for you in the weeks to come. And what else do we have here? So we've got Phoenix preview, Phoenix, Lone Star, Marion Ross, and then some chatter. And so when we do have a good week of no celebrities, and I've got lots of opinions and things to share with you, we'll have another 30-minute rant show. Those are always fun to just kind of just throw out all my different ideas and opinions and thoughts and comments. So... all right. Again, I always love to hear your thoughts and comments. You can email me live@jbonair.com. That's live@jbonair.com. And something that happened this week was the royal baby. I have some thoughts on this story coming up right after this Twitter plug.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter @The Scribble Show and @thescribbleshow.com.
Jeremy Bradley here. We've got about 2 minutes left on the Scribble. So as part of this Mother's Day show, we wanted to give a shout out to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I don't think they've ever heard of me or this show, but just want to say congratulations on the baby. Now, here's the thing. I wrote a column about this not too long ago, and I wonder, though, are we excited about the baby? Are we excited for the parents? Are we just excited because the parents are excited? Like, why is there such a big interest in celebrity babies? You know, Kim Kardashian and Kanye, you know, their fourth kid is here now. And, you know, again, do we care about the kid? Do we care about Kim? Do we just care because it's a baby in general, right? Everybody seems to get very excited about babies. What do you think, though, when it comes to celebrities? Because let me put it like this. Outside of Prince Harry and Meghan getting married, and outside of them announcing the pregnancy, were you fans of theirs on a regular basis, day by day? Like, we often see this when a celebrity dies as well, right? Suddenly everybody is grieving and mourning and, oh my God. But it's like, but have you even thought of this person in the past, you know, however long? Are you a diehard royal? Okay, then you might, you know, a royal watcher, then yes, you might be excited and you might care for the baby. But I just want to know. I'm not pissing on their relationship or their family specifically. I'm just putting it out there as a question. What do you think? Will people still care about the baby in 6 months, right? I guess when it's in the news, you care about it. But anyway, share your thoughts live at jbonair.com, live at jbonair.com. Just have this feeling I might get some hate mail for that. But I'm not. I said I wish them well, of course. We hope that the baby and mom and dad are happy and healthy. That's, of course, what you always want for them. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. Again, happy Mother's Day to the men and women out there celebrating Mother's Day, because in my household, I'm the mom to our pets. So I will talk to you same time, same place next week right here on The Scribble. Bye-bye for now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat